Page 60, Minuet. This is a nice arrangement from a string quartet thing by Boccherini. Typical of minuets, 3/4 time. This one is in the key of A major, 3 sharps. So go do my scale video on A major and F sharp minor. You really ought to be doing the advanced part. If you can play this kind of music, you do the 4 octaves, up and down, parallel, contrary, the whole bit. Learn the scales. Actually, you should already know the scales by now. You're just getting better at them. I remember this one when I was little. I wasn't crazy about it because I just wasn't into minuets. Well, okay. It's not bad though. I've mellowed out a little bit. Let's talk about it. The little grace note at the beginning, I leave out the ornaments when I first learn a piece. We'll put those in later. And I try and play it as legato as I can until I get the fingering figured out. And I'll do it one hand at a time. So let's try that. Right hand first, third finger. It's F, G sharp now. You can go ahead and, because there's a staccato there, you're going to move anyway, so you don't have to connect that. And then 3. John Thompson in his fingerings, he's very good about this. He likes to use different fingers on repeated notes, and I'm a strong believer in that, so I like these fingerings. I did not learn this technique from John Thompson. I was drilled into me by a couple of my piano professors in college. They insisted do that. Actually, there was 3 professors that did that. So the first full measure, because that first measure is a pickup beat. So the first full measure is here. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then again. And hopefully this rhythm isn't a problem to you. Once you get to this level of music, this rhythm should be okay. If you're having troubles with the rhythm, I encourage you to go back through the other method books prior to this. Go through them again, just for practice. Just to review rhythms. Second line, let's go. Well, the last of the first line, you're up. Now, third line, you're here, C natural. So you gotta hold the half notes down. And this is also a quarter note. You see the stem going down? Look at the beginning of the third line. You got a stem going down, a stem going up. Well, hold that down. This is what we're after. It's connected. And then you're back to your so forth. Let's go over to page 61 for the trio. Play it all legato first. It's just a D major scale. And then now here, this is the last measure of the second line. Rather than a thumb or a 4th finger, I would suggest you play it with your thumb and then come down, 3rd finger. Here. It's easier, you don't have to, I mean, when you put in the articulation, you can do it because you can do that. I just don't like moving my hands like that. This is why I play it legato at the beginning, so I can figure out a fingering where I don't have to move my hands so much. There. And then next line. Hold that down for the whole measure and then go out. You can do a 2, 4, 5 if you'd like, but they're fingering. Okay. Going on, it's there. Now it's 2. Now again, the rhythm 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2. Hopefully you get that okay. Going on. Just follow their fingering, it works out. It's a little weird, sort of. It's because of the black keys. We have to accommodate the black keys. Next line down. It's here. Thumb on now. 3rd finger. Then we're back to sort of what we were doing. Now in this last line in this run coming down, I suggest you do this. Your second measure, you're here, I suggest you just stay here. And just finger it like a D major scale. Fourth finger on the C sharp, third finger, and then thumb again here. That's the difference. Rather than second finger, use thumb. That way you're ready for 2-4 on the next one. So slowly. And that's what I suggest. Left hand, let's look at this. You can't really do this legato. Do it as legato as you can. Their fingering is fine. I prefer a 4-2 on that. Then treble clef, second line. It's just a basic, it doesn't sound real good, but that's what it is. And then going on after the 16th notes is and a 3-2 at bass clef. Going on next line. Half notes, hold it down. And they've got a 1 again. Okay, I mean, we're kind of stuck. You can do a 2 and substitute the 1 for it if you want. Because we have the B. We want to connect that. So I can go here, and then here's, and do it that way. Or do it their way. Back to what you were doing before. Let's go over to page 61, second line. The trio, when the left hand comes in, it's just a scale. That's a G there. And then going on, you can do 2-3 or 4-2 or 3, whatever. Going on, next line. Do that, then you got to do a 4 here and here. I'll leave that up to you. And then here. And again, that you don't have to use their fingering. You can use, if you find another fingering that works better for you. I can do a 3-2 here. Whatever. Next line you have here, and then treble clef, bass clef, treble clef, bass clef. Ain't this fun? Hold the A down. You're working the right fingers, that's good. And then back to this bass clef, treble clef, whatever. Next to the last line, second measure. You hear? A thumb on the D. And come up. We did this before. Let's go down to the last line. Here. Next measure. You can use thumb on the G if you want. That way you can reach the 5. Then we try putting the hands together slowly. Again, when you're working it out, you can just play it like, don't worry about the articulation. We're just trying to get the hands to work together here. And don't worry about the speed or none of that. You can hesitate all you need to. All we're doing is working out the hands. So we're here, here. So they're playing opposite each other. Here it's thumb. Stick with those 2 lines until I got them halfway comfortable, or I'm not hesitating too much. And then we can try the next one. Remember, we're holding the half notes and quarter notes down. Now here we got a problem because both hands need that E. You got to get off the left hand a little early because, well, I want to connect the right hand. back to what we did at the beginning. Let's go over to the trio on page 61. Again, this is the idea where we got this D major scale, but you're playing it in parallel sixths. Well, if you can play the D major scale comfortably, it doesn't matter if it's in sixths or thirds or tenths or what it is. You'll just play it. It works beautifully. So learn the D major scale. Learn these scales well. They will come in handy when you run into these pieces, because then you don't have to worry about it. Now those are close, but not quite. See the dotted line going down there? We want to hear the, that's what we want to, they're just telling you the melody's going down. Next line. This is where you got bass and treble in the left hand. Remember that fun? We have problems sometimes when the hands are close together. They gotta learn to play close together, so just make them play nice. That's just the way it is. I can't help it. So forth. Let's go down to the next line here. We've done this before. It's 2, 1, 1, 2. So those last three measures are, it's here. So you work that out where you can get it halfway comfortable, get rid of the hesitations and things, and then maybe we go back and add the articulation. To shorten the video a little bit, I'll do the articulation and the pedal or the dynamics. Here it's just, and the grace note. It's just a real quick little note right before the beat. So here I am actually playing it. You can't tell if I play it on a beat or before the beat. It's just a quick little note. And it's very soft, and they're telling you una corda. This is the designation for you to use the left pedal, the soft pedal. We're not using the soft pedal because we want to be soft. We're using the soft pedal because we want to change the tone. So una corda tells you to use it. They definitely want you to use it. And tre corda, or whatever it is, tre meaning 3 strings. Tre corda means lift it up. Don't use it anymore. So we're just going to put it down at the beginning. And this is very soft, by the way, and that is the right hand. The left hand has to be really soft. You see the tenuto line on the E, and just give it a little more. Frankly, I think you could ignore the tenuto line here, but the accent on the first full major, that one, give that a little more. Yes, don't accent too much here. This is a delicate thing. And keep going. We want to. I'm going to play the grace note with the on the beat. It's here too. Very quickly. And again, it's an accent. Accent. Staccato's in the right hand. There's no, play the left hand legato. There's nothing there. In the second line, that's an accent. Now it's staccato both. That's not staccato. Now that's staccato, but that's not. So they're not the same. Now be careful on them. So it's, and that staccato by itself. They need to repeat and do all that again. Let's go on to the next line. My una corda pedal's still down here. I want to hear these notes that are held out in the right hand. And that's a staccato, and then we're back to doing what we were doing. That's an accent. Now, staccato. And then again, staccato on the left hand, not the right. Yeah. Go on to the trio. I still got my una quarter pedal down. I'm going to crescendo up. They don't say how much. Just go up to maybe a moderately soft. Don't get loud. Just don't go. And I continue to crescendo all through that measure. And that's staccato. And that's staccato, but this isn't. So it's. But now it's not. It's just the first one is staccato. You can separate the others if you want. Just don't play them short. So again. Here. And then next line staccato. And this is kind of smoothed out. It gives us some contrast. Get louder. And here's where that dotted line really comes in, because that's what we want to hear. You need to repeat those two lines. Let's go on to the next line. Here, this is smooth, but that's staccato. Accent. Just swell up. Da, 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 da. Get louder here. Then come back down. I need to do that some more. That's the general idea of it. I kept the una quarter pedal down through the whole thing. It's just you're emulating a string quartet, and you come closer to the sound of the strings by having the soft pedal down is all. You can play loud with the soft pedal down. We're not doing it for softness. We're doing it for tone color. On a grand, it changes the tone color. On the upright pianos, it usually just makes them soft. So if that's what you're playing, the una quarter pedal is about useless. You don't need it here. Then we add the regular pedal, the damper pedal. Well, we don't really need the damper pedal all that much. I mean, we're doing fine with the hands and the fingers, I hope. But we can add some color to it, some overtones and things. So we'll just go ahead and pedal it the way they're showing. It's at the beginning. And I'm not going to use the una quarter pedal here. I think you'll hear it better if I don't, so it's here. I suggest you push the pedal down after you release the A, the staccato A, right there, and then push the pedal down after that, so we get the staccato. And again, in the next measure, I'm going to lift the pedal up so I can hear that. The left hand can be legato here. And again, I don't push the pedal down until after I release the staccato. But it's got to be right after it because I want to catch that note. I want that note to ring out. So, and again, I want to hear the phrasing. So I'm going to. The left hand is legato, but the right hand is phrasing. And here you're not going to pedal this. Again, the next line we would do it with fingers. Tendency you want to use the pedal with that. Don't let that bump, bump, bump. We want to hear that pulse. We want to feel it, and I can feel it better without the pedal. Then top page 61, you hit. Now the next line, of course, in the trio there's no pedal in here. This has to be staccato and legato, and we want to hear it all. So forth, and then when you get down past the trio, the fourth line down, now here you can go ahead and pedal it like they're showing you. See, it's not staccato, so we don't need it. Lift up when I play the F sharp. And here we don't pedal this. Now they put in a staccato. I don't know if that's an error in the music or not. We don't have staccatos on the first two, and now they've started using staccatos again. So if they are staccatos, you really want them to be staccatos. In that case, I wouldn't pedal it until after I release the note, because I want to hear the staccato. But if you don't use the staccatos, like at the beginning of the line, then you can pedal through it. So I don't know which it should be. You can go listen to the actual string quartet play it. How do they play it? Is it played a staccato, or do they kind of go through it? The last two lines is... Now here, they're not even showing pedal. I think that's an error. There's no reason not to pedal here. If you've been pedaling all these other things, pedal this. This is the first measure of the fifth line down, or the next to the last line here. Pedal that the way you've been pedaling this all throughout. Now here, look out. And the staccato. Now here they're pedaling this, but I would not pedal it until after I release the staccato note. I want to hear it. And then you can go ahead and lift it as you play the notes in the next measure. Here, because this is different too. So forth. And then the DC al fine takes you back to the beginning. Remember, DCs go to the beginning. And the fine is at the top of page 61, the end of the first line. And I don't do the repeats on a DC or DS. They would have to put in a note telling me to do the repeats. Otherwise, when you DC it, you just play it straight through to the fine, no repeating. And that's my impression of that. It's a typical minuet tempo of minuet tempo. What? You'll hear recordings of this. I think it's not really called minuet. It's look up Boccherini minuets and see if you can find this. I'm probably in there. So you'll find it in. It's a nice gentle speed. It's got to be no hesitations through it, complete control. The music flows. A minuet is a type of dance, so yeah, keep the beat going all throughout. There's a lot going on in this piece. This will take some time to learn, but it's a nice piece.